More of my interview with President Biden. He has not done many interviews since he took office, so we did cover a lot of ground, including what's next on his agenda. In the face of Republican opposition on things like voting rights and tax increases on the wealthy, the president vowed to change the filibuster. We also talked about Vice President Kamala Harris and, of course, his rescue dog, Major. You're out here selling your COVID relief package. You're executing the COVID relief package now as well. What's next on your legislative agenda?
If you notice the criticism of the COVID relief package from my Republican friends, is they say it spends too much money and it gives too many tax breaks. All these tax breaks go to the bottom 60% of the population. And guess what? They need it. The $1,400 check, child care tax credit. They don't like it because, in fact, their idea of a tax cut is to give the Trump tax cut where 83% went to the top 1% of the people in America.
You're going to be raising those taxes.
Yes, anybody making more than $400,000 will see a small to a significant tax increase. If you make less than $400,000, you won't see one single penny in additional federal tax.
But let's talk raw politics here. You didn't get a single Republican vote for tax cuts. How are you going to get a Republican vote for a tax increase?
Well, I may not get but I'll get the Democratic votes for a tax increase. If we just took the tax rate back to what it was when Bush was president, top rate paid 39.6% in federal taxes. That would raise $230 billion. Yet they're complaining because I'm providing a tax credit for child care? For the poor, for the middle class?
You just say you're not likely to get Republican votes for the tax increase. You're not likely to get Republican votes for H.R. 1, expanding voting rights, or the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. So aren't you going to have to choose? I know you've been reluctant to do away with the filibuster. Aren't you going to have to choose between preserving the filibuster and advancing your agenda?
Yes. But here's the choice. I don't think you have to eliminate the filibuster. You have to do it what it used to be when I first got to the Senate. And that is that a filibuster, you had to stand up and command the floor. Once you stopped talking, you lost that, and someone could move in and say, I moved the question of. So you got to work for the filibuster.
So you're for that reform. You're for bringing back the talking filibuster.
I am. That's what it was supposed to be.
Just put a hold on it, that's it.
Yeah. It almost is getting to the point where democracy's having a hard time functioning. I'm not saying this is going to be easy, George. But I do believe there's enough Republicans over time.
They haven't had that epiphany you said you were going to see in the campaign.
No, well, I've only been here 6 weeks, pal. Okay, give me a break. Been here 6 weeks. I think the epiphany is going to come between now and 2022. 78% of the people say they support this program. 52% of Republicans. Republican voters want to be able to choose between being able to send their kid to a daycare that they can afford. It's not like every Republican voter is a billionaire.
You probably walked into the Oval Office as president with about as much experience, if not more experience, than any other president who's ever served. More than 3 decades in the Senate, 8 years as vice president. So what is it about the job that surprised you, that even you didn't know?
What has surprised me is that I'm not as surprised as I thought I might be. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's like sitting, when I was vice president, the big difference is that famous expression of Harry Truman, the buck stops here. For 8 years, I had a great relationship and still do with Barack. And I'd always be the last person in the room. And I'd say, throw the pass or run the ball. And I'd give my opinion. I was the last guy, and I get to leave. But he's all by himself to have to make that decision. That's the big difference.
Is Vice President Harris the last person in the room?
Most of the time, yes. As a practical matter, yeah, she is.
One final question.
Sure.
Is Major out of the doghouse?
Yeah. The answer is yes. Major was a rescue pup. Major did not bite someone and penetrate the skin. And the dog's being trained now. Our trainer at home in Delaware, he was going home. I didn't banish him to home. Jill was going to be away for 4 days. I was going to be away for 2, so we took him home. But you turn a corner, and there's 2 people who don't know at all, and they move, and he moves to protect. But he's a sweet dog. 85% of the people there love him. All he does is lick them and wag his tail.
And you'll see him tonight?
I'm going to see him tonight, yeah.
Mr. President, thanks for your time.
Thank you, George. I appreciate it.
Went home to Wilmington last night, spent a night at home.
You have covered him for many years. This is the first time you've interviewed him as president. Did you notice a difference?
I did, and very different from the end of the campaign. And I guess the best word I could use is confidence. I mean, he seemed a little tired at the end of the campaign. It was obviously a long, grueling campaign, but he seems eager to be doing this job. And you saw right there, gave very direct answers to direct questions.
He seemed relaxed doing it.
Yeah.
All right, great job, George. Great job.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.